defensive year in his second big league season, hitting at .309. DeGrom's first pitch is hit well out to left field. Back goes Smith looking up, and that ball is into the second deck. And Scott Kingery starts this series off with a bang, with a long home run, his 11th of the year, on the very first pitch thrown by Jacob DeGrom. And it's 1-0 Philadelphia.
Right at the belt.
14 home runs now given up by DeGrom.
Second career leadoff home run for Kingery. They both come against the Mets, and so Jake Knox had a specialty of getting hits in the first inning. He pops this one up though, and Alonso moving toward the mound will have the play. And Pete makes the grab for the first out of the night.
And your Lexus Metropolitan defense
Against DeGrom. And he pulls one just foul. Harper made the All-Star team 6 times in 7 years as a National. He's not going to the All-Star game. Nasty slider from DeGrom in on Harper, and it's 0-2. What were the odds on that? And a 100-mile-an-hour fastball from DeGrom away, 1-2.
Pitching a little angry, I'll tell you. Giving up a leadoff home run is a punch in the gut.
Well, we saw the Mets hit a leadoff home run on the first pitch thrown. 2-2 coming. And the fastball just outside. Brian Gorman calling the balls and strikes tonight. Veteran up behind him in the lineup with the top 2 in the National League in walks. And Harper takes strike 3 called. Backdoor slider got him looking for the second out.
at the plate.
So now Rhys Hoskins with 2 out and nobody on. And he takes one on the corner. Another wide strike. 10 home runs. Phillies have beaten the Mets 7 of 10 this year. And Hoskins pops one up into shallow right. Out goes Alonso, called off by Cano, and Robbie makes the catch, and that retires the side. Kingery things off and takes the first pitch. That's not often the case. Ball 1.
Even he.
But you don't want to get the grip because then you're under the weather.
I'm having a tough day.
Neal inherited from Roberto Clemente. And he pops one a mile high on the right side. Who wants it? It's going to be Segura, the shortstop. That was a major league pop-up, 1 out.
Considering all the noise lately.
There's Pete Alonso. Pete has not yet homered against the Phillies in the first 3 games against the Diamondbacks, so it's a little peculiar. Especially with the way the ball has been flying out, not just this year in general, but fastball strike from Velasquez, 2-1. There's your.
They're at 150 right now, as you said.
Up the middle and snagged by Hernandez. Playing in the right spot in the shift, and that's the second out. Good games.
And your Philadelphia Phillies.
And Cano badly fooled, went around, and it's 0-2.
And Cano took a hold.
Down to the count here, 0-2, and he pops the fastball foul. And that was the case in the series the Phillies just concluded in Atlanta. They got great pitching the first game, from more on the road than in their home bandbox ballpark. They've given up more home runs on the road than at Citizens Bank Park, which I think would surprise anybody who pays attention.
And like, where is everybody?
1-2 coming, and Cano gets jammed and fouls one back.
Velasquez has never lived up to his potential. He came up.
And Cano hits one through the vacated space and into left field. I guess he didn't check the shift that time. And Cano's got a 2-out single. Well. And Velasquez spins one in for a strike, 0-1. Streak, just 3 hits in his last 29 at bats. He fouls off that slider, and it's 0-2.
Seeing more and more now, the catcher's putting that high target. Pitching more.
And Conforto down to the high fastball, and Velasquez has his first strikeout. 1-0 Phillies after 1. Tickets. JT Realmuto leads off in the second and fouls one away. Realmuto, the lone all-star for the Phillies this year. 16 Odubel Herrera, 17 Pat Neshek, last year Aaron Nola, and this year Realmuto, who goes to the game for the second straight year. He went as a Marlin. Who should have gone over him.
Right.
I mean, Wilson Contreras is the starting catcher for the National League, as DeGrom strikes him out with a slider, and that's his second strikeout. However, as a Philly, he's been tearing it up. 25 games for the Phillies, 7 home runs, 22 driven in, hitting .278 since coming in the Robinson Cano Edwin Diaz deal.
He's the headliner of this group.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. At least Keith was a guest star. Cesar Hernandez
Gave me my own trailer with air conditioning and a bed.
Was that unusual? Was that with those special perks that other guest stars? And that slider just missed. 2-2 to Bruce.
AC.
Yes, and it was over, and all those poor extras were out there in the heat all day.
So you realize, so it really is about nothing. And a strikeout on the changeup. Bruce didn't bother running to first base. I don't think he realized. And so he starts a belated run and gets thrown out for the second out.
He had a good time.
He did. Also, he went out there in a Jacob deGrom jersey. So, of course, you know, Jake normally would be. Wow, I hadn't thought of that. Wonder if Jerry's thinking that. It's a good changeup by deGrom at 0-2. And now Scott Kingery. 0-2 to Hernandez. And he comes upstairs with a fastball. And now Scott Kingery. 0-2 to Hernandez. And he comes upstairs with a fastball. Frazier, Smith, and Ramos for the Mets against Vince Velasquez in the second. Field, his ERA in this building 2.53. And Frazier wraps one up the middle for a base hit. Well, the Mets have their second hit. Frazier getting on a curveball, and the Mets have the leadoff man on in the second. Philadelphia hit 3 opposite field home runs. And he takes outside from Velasquez, ball 1. Fouls that fastball away, and it's 1-2. And hit a home run against the Braves on this homestand that was to the left of in the big leagues against him. 2 this year.
He's not that quick, huh?
No, you're right, not there.
Popped up, and Segura secures it. 1 out. Well, the of last season as a Philly. And it takes a strike from Velasquez. And clearly it's been about the pitching lately for the Phils. They've had virtually, it's that simple. I mean, Arrieta is not what he once was. Eflin has not pitched as well as they hoped, as Wilson Ramos strikes out for the second out.
Well,
here's Rosario. And Ahmed takes a slider for a strike. Well, the upshot is that the Phillies are 12th in.
Well, Velasquez right now, Ronnie, seems to be doing a very good job of his
batters in one of his first handful of big league games. Frazier runs, and the throw by Real Muto guns him down to end the inning.
Gary, it's great to be in the booth, the greatest booth in baseball. It is an honor and a pleasure to be with you guys. You have no idea that this broadcast, because it's a TV show. It's not just the game. We get to see a whole TV show. But now let's get back to that pitch I threw.
See, now
I am 65 years old, okay? I challenge that in there right over the plate.
Now, what was with dropping down sidearm? What was that all about?
That's my style. I used to be an infielder.
See, when he
no,
greeted you on the mound?
No, that was a surprise for him.
How much practice did you put into it? Did you play catch?
Went down
last month to practice.
No, I play with my kids all the time in the backyard.
Rocco strikes out, 1 out.
I told Jerry to go down and warm up a little bit if he could.
Yeah.
And to take off your jacket.
Yep, I did. On the wrapper. It is disgusting. But the Tootsie Pops keep them going, right? More Tootsie Pops.
Gary is one that methodically in the course of a game wipes out his Tootsie Pop, will not bite into it.
Yeah, let's not lose track of the game here, because we're only we have a skinny 1-run deficit to make up here.
So now
I just know somewhere on that roll.
Yeah, thank God he's not an actor, aspiring actor.
So far.
Great.
After the first pitch, he was fine.
Right. The first pitch went out.
Yeah.
He's already got 5 Ks.
This is the bobblehead, Jerry. Don't you think it's great?
So no, these guys do.
Well,
this is a great hair booth.
I'll hide now.
I have to say is very good. I know there's been some tough patches, but I like the pieces that we have. I like the new guys. I like the energy. Being a little more effective, there's no reason they can't make a run. And I hope that it starts tonight.
I know from your previous visits, Jerry, that you are an eternal optimist.
I am guilty of that, Gary. You're right.
I wouldn't say guilty.
Ronnie, what about you? Ronnie's optimistic.
I try to be optimistic, yes.
Keith? Pessimistic. Yeah. Well,
yes, we got thrown in the peanut gallery.
1 and 2 to Kingery. Swing and a miss. Okay, Gary, I have a little subject. So not true, right? Because obviously anybody can come back from any count.
You understand that's enhancing the drama of the moment, so that if the Mets pull it out, it feels like they've come back from the brink. And what was the reaction after it aired? Was it?
I don't think anybody thought it was that good, so there was no real reaction. Pop up to third. Rosario's out.
The world just wasn't ready for your
obsessive type humor. It wouldn't work. Nobody thought it would work. I didn't either, by the way.
You know, Keith and I, when Keith and I was 86, way to go. What do people say to you? Like, what is the most common?
Where's Kramer? They say, "Where's Kramer?" I don't know why. The Roscoe bedbug commercial. Where's Roscoe? He's working.
What was your favorites?
I liked a lot of them. I mean, I would put Wayne Knight in a class of his own. People that you could call on. The thing with the characters is, guys, it's not a matter of how much you like the character. That's not why you have them on the show. You have them on the show because you have a story that you can plug them into.
Now, Keith tells us that when he guest starred, that he got star treatment. He got a trailer with air conditioning and a bed.
Yes.
Now, I want to know,
is that star treatment now? Air conditioning?
Turning it down. Oh, just almost.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? I mean, it seems like a ridiculous thing to do. What do they want a baseball player on a sitcom for? And the most memorable part. We had Jeter and... oh, there's a ball hit out to left. It's carrying. It's carrying. And, oh, a beautiful catch at the wall. And McNeil is
a huge round of boos from the fans.
Yeah.
Are you the kind of fan who will boo an opposing player?
Oh, God, no. That's so stupid. That's just people trying to have a good time. Yeah, why are they booing him? Because he's a good hitter? That's stupid.
I was just
because he didn't come here. What are you booing him about?
I was just thinking if anyone could deal with hecklers.
And they hear it. You can hear everything people yell at you.
Certainly at Wrigley Field. Remember, all the parks now are a lot closer, so you can hear the.
It's not the same as being in a club and people are 10 feet away from you, though.
No, not the same. But you know, what does he do after somebody takes him deep? That's what we look at. Emotional temperament is what this game is about. That's what another reason I love. It's similar to stand-up comedy.
Bomb out on stage. Bomb.
First of all, bomb out. That's what my mother says. All right. Nobody says that, Keith. And Harper strikes out. He bombed out. From a cutter, I really can't. Backup slider. Two-seamer, four. You guys can tell a two-seamer over four-seamer. You can.
White ball coming in, but it's the four-seamer is straight. Two-seamer sinks.
Chili Davis was teaching me the.
All right, I know the way these interviews always go with you, Jerry, is that you want to talk baseball and we want to talk comedy.
That's true. I was thinking about that today.
So let's.
A young guy out there named Mark Norman, who has not broken yet, but I have met and I've talked to, and the guys I spell his name as weirdly as possible. There's a little looper. It could drop. No, it doesn't. Michael Conforto, who is not a natural center fielder, comes in. It seems like we shift around quite a bit defensively, don't we?
Well, I think that the Mets for the last few years have been very.
The 15 World Series, and I was talking to him about who was in center that first game. Of saying to him, wouldn't you rather have in center, which is an up the middle important defensive, and that strikes out the side.
Well, Jerry, this is always great, and I wish we could. Alonso leads off against Vince Velasquez. He lined out his first time. Loses the bat, which hits the screen, fortunately.
Almost got our.
Pete back with the new stickum and takes inside from Velasquez, who has now worked 8 innings at Theme.
Boy, he takes a rip. They've been throwing.
1-2 coming, and he hits a rocket out to left center field. How far will it carry? Back near the wall. Kingery, it's out of here. Number 29 for Pete Alonso to tie the game. A Rockets red glare home run, and it's 1-1.
He is I know he's hitting second, but for my generation, and as that might bloop in.
And Cano's got an opposite field dunker, and the Mets have base hits, 2 of them to start the 4th inning. And Cano is 2 for 2. One game. Cano at first and nobody out. Now Conforto. And he takes a strike. 0-1.
I mean, how do you wipe the smile off your face when you're having a first half like he's having?
In Cleveland. After throwing 8 scoreless in this ballpark. One-two coming. Conforto takes it high. 2-2.
Well,
151 home runs allowed now, most in the National League. As Velasquez spins the slider down, it's 3-2. Well, Alonso. 3-2, nobody out. Cano not running, and Conforto drives one out to left center. Kingery back onto the warning track to make the catch. And Cano back to first.
I tell you what, Gary, we've mentioned this before. I don't know when a ball struck solidly in the.
you know, the disguise for the pitchers who still feel they're facing more and more pitches up in the strike zone.
And Frazier gets drilled and has a little look out at Velasquez before dropping the bat. At first with 1 out. Smith popped to short his first time and goes after a high slider and fouls it back. in an 0 for 9 skid right now. Gets this one out to left center, playable for Kingery. And that's the second out. Struck out his first time up tonight. And Wilson pulls one down to third. Diving stop by Franco, and he has time to throw out Ramos. Well, we watched Gio Urshela here the other night make 3.
Now in Jack Fisher. And Jack, we celebrated the 1969 team last weekend. You were not on that night.
Yeah, with your center fielder and little infielder you got for me. They worked out pretty well for you, didn't they?
Al Weiss and Tommy Agee. Tough at times, just getting through those 4 seasons and trying to keep that positive outlook.
Well, the big thing that we had to do was you went at all costs to try to not give up any runs, and it's pretty tough to do that. You know, you look out over the right field fence and you saw the people coming in from the train station before the game.
It was a mess on the field, and because of that, you started a trend that's become commonplace in Major League Baseball.
It is, yeah. They're walking between me and the catcher as I was warming up. So I saw Casey in the dugout, and I asked him, "Is it all right for me to go out and warm up in the bullpen?" And he said, "Well, I don't see why not." So I did. And
you had some pretty incredible moments that you were a part of, not ones that I think in the moment you wanted to be a part of. But before you got to the Mets, feeling what the stadium was like when he hit that home run.
Well, the score of the game was 3-1, and there was nobody out on me.
What's it like pitching to a guy that is that in the zone?
He's in the zone when you throw it there. When you make the right pitches on, I don't care what zone you're in. If you make the right pitches, you can get him out.
I love. Is there any part of you that's happy that you were a part of those moments, even as a competitor, that I'm sure you didn't want to be at the time?
Well, like the old comedian said, everybody's got to be somewhere. And I just...
Jack, what do you think about the game today, pitching today?
It's a little different than what we played. You've got the young pitchers now that throw 95 to 100 miles an hour, and they have them go out there and just...
Jack, Jerry was good. I'm glad I got this gig, though. I'm happy I got this gig. Jack, thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Steve.
Back to you.
All right, thanks, Steve. 1-2-3 inning for Jacob deGrom. He's retired the last, hitting .339 over his last 16 games. He pops this one up in a shallow right. Hernandez out. Harper in, and Bryce puts it away. 1 pitch and 1 out for Velasquez in the 5th.
Third base, I'll tell you that. Tight game.
And Velasquez falls behind deGrom 2-0. And Jake took his home run cut. 2-1. Jake has 1 home run this year. Foul tips 1-2-2. Jake moves his feet on the slider, and it's a full count. Fits right in with the Phillies colors.
It does.
Eighth pitch of the at bat. Then deGrom rolls one up the first baseline, and Hoskins with the easy play. 2 out. Popped up and flied out 0 for 2. And Jeff fouls one back. Jeff McNeil. Sensational from the day.
Had 2 good at bats this game too. Nothing to show for it.
And that's lined the other way, and now he's got something to show for it. His 97th hit of the season is a 2-out single. Was Dave Kingman in 1976. Only 2 rookies have ever hit 30 before. And Pete goes after a high fastball, and it's 0-2.
That's the proper height.
Yes. Alonso just takes a power cut.
Tried to steer that slider, but fouled it.
Real move.
He fouls back the fastball.
Again, supposed to be inside. He missed with the same pitch that pitch.
This is well out of the strike zone with that fastball.
Lander and Cole doing it over there. Whoa, he's reaching for his hamstring. Like,
seventh pitch of this at bat from Velasquez to Alonso, and he hangs one and he lines it into right center. That's a base hit. That'll go back to the wall. Racing for third is McNeil. He's being waved around. Hernandez will make the relay throw. Not in time, and the Mets take the lead. And now Robinson Cano is 2 for 2. Both his hits have gone to left, and trying to go that way again, he fouls it off. Cano pops one foul. That'll go out of play. By the way, another milestone for Pete Alonso. 66 arm. 0-2 to Cano, and that's upstairs. Robbie flies this one to shallow left, and Bruce is right there, and that retires the side. But the Mets grab the lead on Alonso's RBI double. Jacob deGrom now has the lead for the first time. He'll face pinch hitter Brad Miller leading off, and Miller pops one straight up. Ramos, watch out for the helmet. He makes the catch anyway.
Special nights.
Now Scott Kingery will hit deGrom's first pitch of the night for a leadoff home run. Makes a slide. 1-1 to Kingery. Jake is just filling the strike zone.
Month of April with 3 starts where he was getting hit pretty good. Since then, he has just been brilliant. May was a 2.9.
It's on everybody around him. 1-2 to Kingery, and slider off the plate. 2-2. So Brad Miller pinch hit for Velasquez. Kingery lays off the slider, and it's 3-2. Injured list. Well, they've had 8 relievers on the injured list total this year. And deGrom misses badly with the 3-2 changeup, and so Kingery's on with the one-hot Nationals, who are 26-10 since May 23rd. Gene Segura takes. Segura gets jammed and fouls it off. 1-1. Well, deGrom through his career. I mentioned deGrom and the stolen bases. It's something that really had not plagued him in the past. But
kind of freezing the runners.
Kingery's got 5 this year. He's not going, and Segura pops one up. And Frazier comes in to help out and makes the grab in their territory, and that's the second out.
Come with a hard slide ball in.
And that one caught the corner, and it's 0-1. There goes Kingery, and it's fouled back on a high fastball, and it's 0-2. Now the 0-2. And just missed with that slider. 1-2.
Well, such a big out right here. The fat of the
1-2. Kingery runs, and Harper pops it up in foul ground. Frazier drifting to the railing, runs out of room. 1-2 again. Struck him out. deGrom fans Harper for the 3rd time. He got him with a changeup. 9th strikeout of the night for Jake. 2-1
for tonight.
Veteran left-hander Jose Alvarez in to pitch the bottom of the 6th. Michael Conforto takes a fastball for a strike.
Alvarez Angels. He's started a game this year, kind of like as an opener, but he's been real good. Last 20.
Just big guys who were supposed to be big pieces in that Philly bullpen are down. There's a fastball in the corner to get Conforto looking for the first out. Watch SNY Mets games on the. Showed you the compendium of some hard feelings between them.
It'll get more if it happens again.
And Alvarez works him away, a ball and a strike. Rame well over the fence and then took 34 seconds to round the bases, which just exacerbated the entire. I mean, Ronnie, you were in San Diego when Colon hit the home run, and you said it was the slowest home run trot you ever saw. Frazier foul tips it for strike 3, and Alvarez has back-to-back strikeouts to start his stint. SNY's Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. That's one hit batsman, 1 home run, 79 pitches in his 5 innings. Tommy Hunter, a right-hander, is up in the Phillies bullpen now. And now a quick message from Porsche.
The same thing himself.
And Alvarez strikes out the side in the 6th inning. Strong inning for the Philly left-hander. 7th inning, Rhys Hoskins leads off against Jacob deGrom. And comes up and in.
Yes, a lot.
Yes, yeah.
When you had a couple good pitchers out there. I mean, for you, you're out there thinking like you got 9. If it was a good pitch game, I only have 4 cracks.
Yeah. But you also got to feel defensively. You know, you might play a big part in this too. You know?
That was automatic.
Hoskins 3-0, leading off the inning. And Hoskins takes ball 4. A couple very close pitches, close to him. Allowing 2 walks or fewer before tonight. Now Real Muto takes a slider for a strike. Jake's tonight. And he drives this one out to right, chasing McNeil back, and he can't get there. Hoskins heads to 3rd. He'll be held up there. Real Muto pulls into 2nd with an opposite field double, and the Phillies have 2nd and 3rd.
Wow.
Jay Bruce, the batter, and he takes a slider for a strike. I mean, normally in this 2nd with nobody out. And that's grounded down to 1st. Alonso able to hold the runner, and he'll take it to the bag himself. That's a big first out for deGrom.
Weaker contact from Hernandez,
even
right?
Good looking Cano's back enough where it's you got to consider that.
Hernandez gets
hard to hit the sacrifice fly.
And Hernandez dribbles one. Tough play for Frazier. He comes home and he's safe, and the game is tied. Not much. So now 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Go ahead run at 3rd for Franco, who slices 1 foul. We came on the air tonight talking about Franco and his heroics against the Mets in the late innings in Philadelphia. Infield at double play depth. And a big cut by Franco, and it's 0-2.
You know, deGrom right after him, 2 heaters.
Franco has struck out once tonight, but he has beat us at 1st with 1 out. 0-2 to Franco, and he just taps it in front of the plate. Ramos checks the runner, now throws to 1st and gets the out. Remember the play the other day when Ramos did not check 3rd. 2nd and 3rd and 2 out, and Knapp goes after a first pitch slider running in on him. 0-1. 2 of them in this inning. Ball on the strike. And Jake gets ahead with a slider, and it's 1-2. 3 straight slider. Knapp struck him out. 4 sliders in a row, and deGrom has his 10th strikeout of the night. Go his last time up. And it's up the middle, and Ramos has a base hit to start matters in the bottom of the 7th. So Wilson Ramos wasting no time against Tommy Hunter, and the Mets have the go-ahead run aboard. Rosario at the plate. J.D. Davis coming out on deck to pinch hit. Rosario takes a cutter for a strike. Ahmed has popped up and flied out. You've got a 5-man bench, although we've had less at times this year. This is a circumstance where you have a full bench. I don't know why you hesitate. It's going to pinch hit for.
All right.
1-2 to Rosario. I don't know. I think it's an interesting call.
Second catcher.
Yep.
That's why Keith loves 3 catchers.
Yep, they all. I mean, I remember Bobby Valentine when he managed here.
That way, because how often does the catcher actually get injured and you have to use an emergency guy? Rosario strikes out, and that's the first out of the inning. And lost a challenge on a potential stolen base for Todd Frazier. Here's the play at the plate, which they might have been able to challenge.
Pants on and go out in the outfield grass like minor league days and slide.
Now, we have talked to Mickey Callaway before
On the situation. So let's try to harken back to the situation that you challenged. Okay, maybe you absolutely believe that Frazier was.
Davis lifts one to shallow right, easy for Harper. And that's the second out.
Well, there it is right there. He is clearly out. That front foot open.
For the Mets have to transmit to the bench so that they make the decision to challenge.
No one wants to be embarrassed. So anytime someone says check that.
This game has become such a second-guessing game. You've got umpires that are scrutinized. You've got people that are.
Hunter, he had a base hit to left and scored a run his last time up. And a cutter in for a strike, 2-1. Justin's playing behind Ramos at first with 2 out and the left-hand hitter up.
Oh,
and that one almost took out Alonso in the on deck circle. Can't be having any of that, Jeff.
Get a piece of the bat on that pitch.
Breaking ball blooped. And the second baseman Hernandez almost got run into by Segura, but he picks it off. Terry struck out and walked. And he pops the first pitch up on the left side. Frazier waiting for this mile-high pop-up.
Frazier wanted it.
And 1 out.
He wanted it. He called. Rosario was going to call.
It's almost impossible to believe.
He's got to be the unluckiest pitcher in the game today. Another no decision.
Segura is 0 for 3 tonight. And fouls back the slider, and it's 1-1. I mean, right? It's the offense, it's the bullpen, it's the defense. To the right side and through for a base hit for Segura. And the Phillies have a 1-out base runner. For Segura, his 4th hit in 6 career at-bats against Seth Lugo.
Well, you're going to give him the right side of the infield.
Lugo just missed inside for ball 1. And Harper takes a strike. 1-1.
Harper just stay in and do it.
There goes Segura, and it's fouled off. Well, 1-2 to Harper, and the curveball just missed. 2-2.
And that a nasty.
2-2. Fly ball left field, hit well. Back goes Smith. He's got room on the warning track. On a long second out, Segura tags and heads to second. Terrific base running by Segura to move the go-ahead run into scoring. Lugo. And takes the first pitch slider for a strike.
And listen, Hoskins.
And the curveball fouled off. And it's 0-2.
How about the indoor curveball? Threw it right at him and bent it over the inside part of the plate.
It's really the exact on Hoskins. On the outside corner, it got him looking. Side retired.
The next at bat on a slider, belt high up. Another 1-2 count and going to the opposite field, keeping that shoulder in. He fouled off a lot of pitches.
Against Vince Velasquez, now facing Tommy Hunter in the 8th inning. Last two Met victories have been Tuesday. And Alonso pokes one out to right. Harper coming in quick. And Harper slides to make the catch. Bryce Harper was playing deep.
He's faced.
Cano is 2 for 3 tonight. And he dribbles one back to the mound. Morgan throws one pitch, gets one easy out, and that's the second out of the inning. Morgan. And he goes after the first pitch slider, flies it to shallow center. Kingery started back. Segura goes out and saves him. Kingery didn't get a good break on it, so Segura.
I think he doesn't remember that fourth game in Philadelphia. A little payback.
He remembers that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
JT Realmuto chases the slider, and it's 0-2. Realmuto, Bruce, and Hernandez in the ninth. And that slider in the dirt, 1-2.
The block by Ramos.
Diaz ready to face Edwin on deck. And the fastball just off the plate to Realmuto, 2-2. 2-2. Pulled down to third. That's a fair ball going over the bag and off the tarp. Realmuto on his way to second. Smith makes the throw too late, and Realmuto has his second straight double. He was 0 for 3 tonight. Pull hitter needs to pull it in this spot, and Diaz comes low and in, ball 1.
He's hit. The double play still in order. He goes down the line. It's a double.
Ground ball toward the middle, base hit. Around third comes Realmuto. He's heading for the plate. Conforto's throw is too late, and the Phillies have taken the lead in the ninth inning on a Jay Bruce. At a swinging bunt to drive in the tying run in the seventh, and he's not bunting and takes outside for ball 1. Frazier backs up a step to the edge of the grass. This time Quinn is running. The throw by Ramos into the runner, and it goes into center field, and Quinn will wind up on third base. The wheels falling off for the Mets in the late innings tonight. Cesar Hernandez with Michael Franco on deck. And Hernandez grounds one down to Alonso, but foul. And it's 2-1. His infield hit drove in the tying run on a play where Hoskins appeared to be out at the plate. But the Mets did not have a challenge, having used it earlier in the game. And now the Phillies have scored against Diaz in the ninth. And that's outside ball 4. Now Hernandez is on for the plate and was thrown out by Ramos' last time up. Hernandez started and stopped at first base. And Franco foul tips the fastball, almost lost his helmet in so doing.
Yeah, you know.
There goes Hernandez, strikeout and no throw. So Franco strikes out for the field in. And Rodriguez hits it through the hole. That'll bring in Quinn. Hernandez will stop at third. Sean Rodriguez wasting no time. A pinch hit single to drive in the second run of the inning. It's 4-2. Got Kingery first and third and one out with 2 runs already home in the ninth. Rodriguez starts and stops, and then Kingery trying to put down a bunt in what looked like a safety squeeze situation. And he bunts and misses. So
I don't
you can only guess that's also a safety. There goes Rodriguez, and it's grounded foul.
Boy, the Phillies are just
0-2 to Kingery. There goes Rodriguez. Kingery strikes out. No throw by Ramos. Third stolen base of the inning as Kingery strikes. And slider in the dirt for ball 1.
I'm always.
And Segura takes a fastball strike, 1-1. Coming up tonight, a guy goes. And that one skips in, and Ramos fortunate to play that on. And Segura has to move back, and now it's 3-1. Well, a walk to Segura would low.
Tire Segura. You got to get him out.
Here's a strike down the inside corner, and it's 3-2. 3-2 coming to Segura. And it's driven toward left center field. That's going to go up the gap to the wall, and 2 more runs will come home. Hernandez and Rodriguez are in. A two-run double for Gene Segura breaks this one open. An inning striking in its familiarity. Rough ninth inning. And Harper cracks one to right, and that'll bring in another run. Segura comes in to score. Harper with his first hit of the night, an RBI double. And the Phillies have posted a 5 spot in the ninth inning to make it 7-2. But this game began to tumble down when Hoskins was allowed to score. You know we need now? Need more Seinfeld. Here's what I think might be an even better idea. The next time we have Jerry on, bring him on in the 8th. That's when the Mets. Hoskins pops one up in foul ground. Anybody could be able to reach it? Nope. Good effort by Alonso. There's some very. And Hoskins lays off the slider. Now it's 3-2. Three-two coming, and Hoskins fouls it off.
Well, this is
3-2 coming, and Hoskins fouls off another one. And he walked him. So the inning continues.
And the Phillies have
May gets his first outing coming off the injured list.
He's been out with left
Diaz. And he swings and fouls off the changeup, and it's 0-2. From Avilan, and the changeup is outside 1-2. On deck batter. And Realmuto rolls one out to Rosario, and that finally puts an end to the inning. But 10 Phillies came to bat, and Frazier homered against Neris in the last game in Philadelphia. Takes a fastball for ball one.
Well, Neris had a stretch. His numbers are all good.
Hasn't pitched since Tuesday in Atlanta. Situation. Smith and Ramos to follow for the Mets in the ninth. And Frazier jumps back 2-1. The Mets bullpen in the last 11. Frazier cracks one to third and caught by Franco for the first down. Ends instead of, you know, preparing for a month for this.
No, but he said he plays with his kids, plays catch with his kids all the time, so he's out there.
See,
it's always advisable to be ready for the moment.
if Jerry had advice for me in stand-up comedy, I would take it. What, you think I'll bomb out?
You know, only mom says that.
Have you ever thrown a first pitch?
No, never.
So if
Wide of first, and Hoskins is there to make the play, because you know the ones who mess up the worst.
Yeah.
Had this game 2-1 until the 7th, but it's all come crashing down for them. And Ramos takes below the knees ball one. The Phillies might be able to reclaim second. And Ramos takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Meanwhile, the Braves and the Marlins are in a 2-1 to Ramos. Against Aaron Nola. 3-1 now to Ramos. The Mets. And there's ball 4, and so Ramos draws a 2-out walk to keep the game alive. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Going. And Ahmed grounds one to short. Segura's got it. And the flip for the force that ends this game. The Phillies rally for a run in the 7th and 5 in the 9th and beat the Mets for the 6th consecutive time. Pete Alonso provided the only solace for the Mets with a couple of